It's my entertainment and news channel, and it's been a long time coming. I haven't been on this platform now in a while, at least doing lives anyway. But I run three channels. I run a lot of things on the internet, and I'm doing a lot of work here. I don't really take time off very often, and when I do, I get way out of routine. I get messed up. I get, I get where, okay, which way is up, dude? What am I doing here, dude? It is real hard to get back into the swing of things. You know, one of the benefits that comes from such an activity is that I get an opportunity to look at others, look at what they're doing, look at how they're being treated, look at the things that go on far and above and beyond me. Sometimes I like what I see, other times I don't. For example, I've been following a fella on the called this guy Trucks. He's made a huge dent in what everybody thought was the worst possible thing you could do. Swift Trucks. Who joins Swift and brags about it? This guy Trucks does. Don't know how he's making it, but I do know how he's making videos anyway. Then there's Trucking Life with Sean. Dude, I'll tell you what, anybody deserves attention and credit. That man right there does. But yet, YouTube, for whatever reason, you guys messed up, dude. You guys really screwed up. You demonetized the man of God. How can you sleep at night? You know, and these are just some of the things I figure out. Well, I got time on my hands and I do nothing, you know, but yet I'll put it on other channels. I'll make a big deal out of it. Meantime, one of the bigger things that's going on with me is that there's a change going on with me. I've not announced it, and nor am I going to make it public tonight. All I'm going to say is there's a change coming soon to a trucking channel near you. And boy, I'll tell you what, it's going to be entertaining, it's going to be educational, and you're going to like it. So keep tuned in to That's Trucking and World of Trucking to find out more. Meantime, when we talk about time off, I'm in the middle of it right now. I've got about 3 or 4 more days. I'm waiting on a changeover. I'm waiting on certain things to happen. And I'm watching, as I said earlier, others around me. And rather than pick on them, I'm going to help them. I'm going to make life better for them. I'm going to make you aware of what's going on with them. So who better than to bring your day down, hypothetically speaking, than the grumpy old trucker himself? Nobody meaner than the codger himself in person. How you doing, my friend? How's life hanging?
So far, so good there, boss man.
Here, you're back in the saddle again after having an extended period of time off. What's it feel like, my friend? What's it feel like?
Well, it's a lot better than sitting at home all the time. I mean, yes, I love being at home with my family, but let me tell you, whenever I'm basically stuck and not got much income coming in, it's really a pain. It really is. It puts a burden and a stress on the family.
It can. It can be. It can be. Look, if you've got time on your hands and you've got things going on in your life, give us a comment down below. Let us know how you get through extended time off. Yours might not be as simple as Grumpy's, or it might not even be as exciting as mine, but let us know. How do you get through those times where you're not planning on being off for a long period of time? Show this man here some love. I keep messing with Windows. Show this man here some love and let him know he's not alone. He's back on the road. He's back in the saddle. He's doing things that he hasn't been doing for a while. And you know what? I like him. I think he's the greatest man alive. He's what makes my trucking show on Trucking City funny, realistic, and He's the comic relief I need. There are others who might choose to be here. Hint, hint, hint. Don't know if they will show. But if you're not, put a comment down. Show this man some love. And if you don't put a comment, do me a favor. Go down to his show. Go down in the description below. Go down below. Hit the link for his channel, the Grumpy Old Truckers, on YouTube. Become a subscriber. You'll be well entertained by some of the videos he has. If nothing else, you'll be well entertained by the live shows that he puts up that we do every Saturday and every Wednesday. So, what was 4.5, 5 months off the road like for you? What was some of the highlights in Grumpy's time off?
Well, spent a lot of time with the family, took care of things that need to be done as much as possible. I actually had to fix my lawnmower several times due to the fact that my son was breaking it so he wouldn't have to mow the yard. Exciting. But, I was more than happy to be going back to work so I could get some money going so I can get some more stuff taken care of. It's just more exciting being working than it is being stuck at home all the time.
Yeah, yeah. I understand there was a standards issue with the reason you took time off. Is that something that you think others can learn from? Or do you think that's more or less just a part of trucking that everybody has to deal with?
Well, it's a type of difference touchy with different companies. Some companies allow you to be able to take your rig home. Others will allow you to take it home as long as you're still attached to the trailer.
Right.
Well, the company that I left and then came back to make different arrangements to where I can be able to leave my tractor hooked to my trailer at all times. Um, something I've got to work with, but after I don't have much choice because of where I live, I have to. And it,
Right.
it is a pain if you don't have a place to park both a tractor and trailer. So
Yeah.
yeah, it,
Well, I
it can
mentioned
be
standards.
tedious.
I I mentioned standards because I think a lot of people in trucking today are afraid of stepping up that plateau of standards because they're afraid of just being the loser in the end. You know what? Trucking is hard enough by itself, but when you don't stand up to people and say, look, at the very minimum, I expect this, whatever this may be, and you allow them to manipulate you in a way you're not comfortable with, that's how we lose ground trucking. And
Hmm.
I'm not giving you extra credit or your company extra credit. All I'm saying is that from what I've learned and what you've told me, I believe you did the right thing. And albeit you wound up having to go about life in a different way than would be normal, the message was still sent. And I think the company that you work for absolutely received it. And I think they're going to benefit from it. And I think you will benefit to a degree. So everybody's happy in this case. And if anybody learns anything from it, don't be afraid to stand up. Don't be afraid to speak out and say, "Look, this is the respect I've earned. This is the respect I need." Don't be afraid to ask for it, because in the end, it'll always benefit you. What do you think, Brett?
Well, just the next scenario that you just explained there, you know, basically whenever they found out I was coming back, they didn't want to lose me to begin with. So after having a conversation with them, I actually, told them basically what I was wanting and what I needed to do. But unfortunately, because the owner wouldn't budge on the taking and unhooking from the trailer, there was nothing I could do about that. But, they did concede the factor that they don't really want to lose me. So they're trying to work with me any way they can. And they even tried to work with me today so that way I could be able to get the house and be able to get my tractor loaded. But unfortunately, with the load I'm under, it wasn't going to happen.
Well, no situation's perfect. I mean, you find them all the time in trucking. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. I mean, the last load I carried, the last load I vlogged about anyway, a perfect example. I mean, it was a nightmare to start with. And I didn't wind up getting the load delivered for an extra 3 or 4 days. And it was over something simple. I mean, really. I started out in Connecticut. I wound up delivering in Georgia, but just a whole nightmare out of Connecticut. I didn't count on it. The company I worked for didn't count on it either, but it was a fact nonetheless. And you know what? That's trucking. Hate to plug my own channel, but that's trucking. It happens. You know.
Right.
So what was the wildest thing that happened? Well, wild, crazy, funny. I don't know. Tell me something good happened on that time off. What do you think you got the best out of on your time off? What do you think benefited you the best?
Sleeping. I got more
We all
rest.
need sleep. We all need sleep.
Of
There you
course, there
go.
was nights that I was hanging out with my friends, and I'd go through several cups of coffee. But hey, it was fun.
Yeah.
Very
I
much so
think that was
enjoyable.
I think that was plainly the best benefit of all of them. Talking about acorns and
Get it
coffee
right. It's
beans.
acorns.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you want to tell everybody the story behind acorns? Go right ahead. I walked right into that one, my friend.
Oh well, I don't know if I want to tell that story or not. Do you want
Oh,
to
come on.
hear it?
You can come up with a family friendly version. Come on. It's
Well, it's
entertainment.
family. It's
Grumpy old
family.
trucker.
It's family friendly anyhow. But okay, all right. You talked me into it. All right, back whenever the Grumpy was a real young feller, I was probably maybe 8, 9 years old. It was me, my mother, God rest her soul, she's resting in peace. But it was me, mother, and her good friend. We were out on the creek bank down here in Oklahoma, and the fish weren't biting that day. So me and my mother kind of give up, and we were little farting around on the banks, and you know, my mother comes across these big old acorns, and she picks one up, and she's talking, and she says, "Jesus, look at the size of these acorns!" And my mom's friend says, "Yeah, you ought to see the size of the squirrels that carry them." And my mother looked at it, she goes, "Are they really that big?" And we just rolled on the creek bank because it was so hilarious. Whenever you had to have been there that day, it was so hilarious.
I would have been twice as amazed if your mother actually thought there were squirrels that huge.
That's the whole idea. She really thought they were. Whenever her friend told her that, you got to see the size of the squirrels that carry them.
Wow. I to this day, and I've known you a while, Frank. I to this day cannot get over the fact that you call them acorns. You know,
Acorns.
for my entire life, I've heard them called acorns, and
Well,
you are the only person I've ever heard call them acorns.
us Okies have our wording down here. Just like piddle fart and whatnot shelves. I mean, we've got all
Oh
our
yeah,
wonderful keywords.
yeah. If driving with John were here, he'd be all over you about what not shelf.
Yeah, sure would be nice if he just would pop in all of a sudden. That would be
I
awesome.
don't think I don't think he will. He's with his family. Let him be.
Yeah,
You had your chance. He gets his too. So,
yeah,
um,
that's true.
you know. But I mean, hey, look. At the end of the day, the best thing you can get is relaxed with time off. Do you think you
That's
got that
right.
much? Do you think you got that much?
Oh, I know I did. As I said, I mean, I the rest and stuff. I had other things that came up,
Yeah.
but I had to take care of that. And it was kind of a good thing I wasn't driving during time. But it's well been taken care of. Thank goodness.
Yeah. Like I said at the start of the show, go down in the comments section, um, a description of this show. Look up Grumpy Old Trucker's YouTube channel. Show him some love. Go down there, become a subscriber. I mean, I don't know that any one YouTuber has a quote routine, but this man right here is about as close to routine as he can try to be to build his channel, put up videos, entertain you, and at least give you an idea what trucking's like. He's currently at around 62, I think, subscribers.
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah. So let's give him some more to work for. Let's build that number up. Higher than 62. and let's show him the love he deserves. He's a man of good heart and good faith, and let's help him out. Just like I said, Trucking Life with Sean, that man's got a great message, and he's got a great delivery on how he does his vlogs and his videos. And I think the way YouTube is doing him is quite dishonest. Trucking Life with Sean has some additional links in the bottom of his description where you can actually show him support and love. I encourage you to go down and look it up. If you want to know about life in trucking after CDL school, he's the man to look at. I don't normally come up here and talk about things other than my own channel, but as I started this out, I've had time off here in the last week, and I've had too much time off to see things I don't like, and I'm going to call it out. And that's what this channel does. You know, if I see a video I don't like, if I see a channel I don't like, if I see something I do like, I'm going to call it out. That's where this channel, I think, is going to probably gain its future hold from, because I don't like boring you in the audience with details you just can't relate to. If you want to know about trucking, you want to know about other trucking channels. You want to know about trucking channels? Yeah, right there is a perfect example. He's all about humor. So, I mean, if you want to know about trucking channels, this is the place to go. But yeah, we're talking good stuff tonight. Vacations, downtime. I've said in a while, a couple of videos actually on World Trucking. Don't be afraid to ask for downtime. Don't be afraid to ask for the needed, necessary stress relief. You know, one of the things about this fella here is that he ran into a couple of health issues, and I don't know if he wants to make it public. If he don't, that's fine. But he was pretty much not, I don't want to say forced, but he was basically required to take some time off to basically straighten out his health. And had he not done it, he wouldn't be here talking to us today. So not everybody runs into that circumstance, but it just goes to prove my point. Don't be afraid to ask for the downtime you need, whether it be mental stress relief, physical help with yourself just gripping life as it comes at you at light speed every day. Okay, the reason people make mistakes on the road today and the reason people cost lives is because they don't take the necessary time to do the very thing I'm telling you you need to do. Ask for time off. Make it a point to say, hey, look, I need help. If it's a couple of days, if it's a week, whatever, get it. You'll be better off for it. In fact, you'll probably save a life doing it.
That's right.
You got something to add to that, Grumpy?
I basically what you're saying right there. You know, don't be afraid to take and ask for time off. I mean, most companies usually for every 7 days you're out, you get 1 day off anyhow. If you're one of those guys that stay out for 3 or 4, weeks and you get those days accumulated and you need extra time off, do so. Let them know. Most companies won't have a problem with you being off a few extra days or up to a week longer, and before they decide that you need to turn in your equipment.
Yeah.
And then if you have to take longer, feel free to turn equipment back in, because if you turn it back in, you have a chance to go back to them, because if you abandon it, then it goes on your DAC, and that's the end of your trucking career, more or less.
Yeah, that can be a problem before you can start. So
I love my tea.
Hey, there you go. Your tea, my coffee.
That's right.
Anyway.
Well, I had to cut back on the caffeine just a little bit because I get a little wild and stay up all night long.
Right. And then you call people like me up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey, man, what you doing?
Well, nothing else better to do,
That's it. Lucky for you, I was in the truck. I'm like, fixing to wake up in a couple hours. Unlike somebody else
you have to talk to me. Yeah.
Unlike somebody else who fell asleep on it.
That's right.
We won't talk about who that is.
No. We'll just say sometimes he stays on the show with us every now and then. That'll keep you in suspense.
Sometimes, right? Could be somebody who wants to build back better trucking. It could be somebody that drives a truck for a living. I'll just leave it at that. Who knows?
Yeah.
Could be anybody.
Could be anybody. But
I pick
it is
on.
somebody that usually makes appearances on our show.
I was gonna say I'll pick on John on. I mean, everybody honestly.
Oops.
Oops, did I say that wrong? Oh man, you know what? I don't care. Even if he's not here, I'm gonna show him love. Just what can I tell you?
Yeah.
Truckers are
I
people
love the
too. You
factor
know.
that, he gets his time off and everything, but sure is lonely whenever we don't have our buddy there, you know.
He does. He does.
And when he comes
Show ain't the
back,
same. Show ain't
when
the
he
same.
comes back, boy, we're like, anybody have animals at home and you leave home and then you come back and they just go crazy? Well, that's how me and Boss Man feel whenever John is back from his time off. We're
Yeah,
just
it's kind of
all
like my
like, hey,
cat.
what's happening?
It's kind of like I got 4 strays outside. I feed them every day. They show me love. I show it to them in return. And no, I'm not getting perverted here, but I went on a vacation for 4 days. Came back after 4 days. They were thin as a rail. They were patiently sitting right there by my back door as soon as I walked in. I overfed them. I treated them like complete royalty for 2 days, and now they're gone. I haven't seen them
Oh,
for 2 days, but they're here. They show up. They show up every once in a while. They make appearances. But boy, did I feel bad. I felt so bad because I couldn't take 5 cats, on a trip with me, you know. But they made do for a few days, and then when I got back, they were like, "Fed me, thank you, bye." Shoom. They're gone.
well, it's just like me. As soon as I walked in the door, all my fur balls they come running at me and greeting me and hanging on me and everything. In fact,
Right
I got one right here. I'll let her be the star of the show for a
there, you
second.
go.
This is my baby right here. Her loves
Uh
her daddy. I don't know if we
huh.
can see her. There we go. She's my little
There she
my
is.
little Chihuahua.
Yeah. What's
She's
her
a
name?
Chihuahua and Princess.
That's
Yeah, this is
Princess.
my
Wow.
princess. Yeah,
Gotta love a little princess. Yeah.
but she's got to be right up Daddy's hind end right here. She thinks
Right.
she's got to be
Yeah.
right beside me.
Yeah.
Oh, now she wants me to hold her again.
Yeah.
I started something.
Exactly. They won't let you forget it either. So when
Uh-uh.
it comes to advice to drivers, young, old, new, whatever, when it comes to handling vacation and downtime, what's the one thing that, in your perspective anyway, from all the experience you have, you think would be best told, the best secret anyway, best told to those out there watching the show? What would be your one piece of advice?
I'd say basically, make sure if you're going to take downtime, have a financial crutch, have some money built up, take time with that, and make sure that you use your money wisely while you're off. Because if you don't, then you're pretty much going to starve yourself to death. And hopefully you don't have no family because that it becomes a big issue. So that's my best suggestion on that.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't get the time off, if you're not able to save, which in today's economy is very hard to do, um, it's going to turn on you.
Hmm.
You're going to find if you don't save, if you don't plan, if you don't at least even yourself out, life's going to even you out. It's going to catch up to you.
Yes.
Because I'll tell you, having worked for 2 mega carriers prior to what I do now, um, that almost happened to me twice. Um, One from a perspective of almost losing my crap. Now that's putting it mildly because there's probably children watching. Um, and the other one just by judgment's sake. If you don't get the time off, your ability to make sound and logical judgments becomes tainted by the monotony of what you do every day.
It
Um,
does.
and I found that out working for Werner because I mean they were all about numbers. They were all about routine. They were all about let's get the job done. The last thing they were thinking about was my home time.
Hmm.
Okay. Comment below if you've ever run into a situation where working for a mega carrier, you found it easy to get home. Never happens. You're a number. They don't factor you into their equation. All they look at is the freight you need to carry. So getting home time you're fighting forces. Yeah, I can't even begin to tell you what those forces are, but you're just fighting forces, and you're working upstream. You're like that carp trying to get upstream to reduce. Just never happens, especially if it's a rapids you're hiking. So um, yours is well sounded, and well placed. I can say my advice is a regular routine is the best thing. Not only with what he said about saving your money, but a regular routine will help, because every time you get into a routine and at least you have it to where it's predictable on your behalf, it's easy to break. It's easy to
Yes.
look at those times when, okay, maybe I'm making mistakes now that I didn't used to make. Maybe it's time I do take a vacation or take that interrupt or that pattern break and get that time off. It's a lot easier to do if you've got a routine. If you're all
Hmm.
over the map and you don't know when your 34s are coming up, you don't know when your next 10-hour break's coming up, if you can't predict your routine, it's real hard to get that in, and it's real hard and real difficult to uh, make that happen a lot easier. So
Yep.
overall, old man, how does it feel to be back in the saddle and riding high again?
Get out on me. What'd you say, boss man?
I said, how does it feel to be back in the saddle and riding high again?
Oh, it feels great to me. I
Yeah.
mean, I got back in there. It's just like, the old saying is, you never forget